Hi guys and welcome back to my course. In this video, we're just gonna design the UI part of this application. As you can see here, I've already created a new project. So let's begin. So coming to the code editor, let's open our app.js. So I'm just gonna go ahead and remove everything from inside the header. Let's save it. And as you can see, it's all clean, everything's gone now. So this is what we have to design. So coming back here, let's add the top bar first. So let's say nav, and inside the nav we can add that Amazon logo. Let's copy the image URL. So as you can see, we've got this huge image. So let's add some styles. So as you can see, we've already got app.css. So let's convert it into a CSS module file. .module.css. I'm just going to remove all these styles. And I'm going to add a class here. So top bar, background color, this. And let's add a class name here. Now, if you remember to work with CSS modules files, you have to import it as filename.module.css. Along with that, you have to give a name here to access the class objects. So let's say classes. Now, to use it here, we can simply do classes.topbar. Let's save it. And as you can see, we've got that color only in the top bar. And let's reduce this image size a bit. So inspect. So the image size is 100 pixels. And the nav bar has certain padding. So let's add these styles there. So top bar, the image directly inside top bar should have a width of 100 pixels. So as you can see, the image is reduced in size. Also, we need some padding, so let's add that as well. Let's bring the logo in the center, so we can simply use text align center. All right, so it looks pretty much like our application. Also, we would want the stop bar to be fixed on the top, so let's just add position fixed, top 0, and left 0. So as you can see, we've got, and of course we'll also have to give it a width now. So let's say width 100%. So as you can see, we've got our top bar in shape. So moving on to the next sections. So on the left hand side, we've got this preview image. And on the right hand side, we've got the product details. So coming back, so as I mentioned earlier, you already have this product data.js file. So inside that, you've got all the details that you're going to be needing. So for now, I'm just going to copy this image URL. Coming back here, let's add a new div. Let's give it a class name, say main container. Let's add another div here. Let's give this a class name, say product preview. Let's add an image here. Let's give it a URL. So I'm just adding a default image here for now. Let's say product preview. Now, as you can see, we've got this huge image here. And if you also notice, so we're kind of dividing our screen into half and half. So let's add another division here. Let's say product data. And we can convert our main container into flex and give the width as 50% to both these child divs. So main container, let's say padding, 4% and say 12%. Let's give it some margin top, say 32 pixels. Let's give it a width of 100%. Display flex, align items, center. Okay. All right, so if you notice, inside this product preview, we've got an image. So first, let's give some styles to this product preview. Let's say width of 50% and product preview and image directly inside it. Let's give it width of 100% so that it takes all the available width inside the product preview. Similarly, for product data, let's give this also a 50% width. Say width 50%. Let's save it. And as you can see, our image is still pretty huge. So the problem is we've given padding, but we did not give it a box sizing. So it's going out of the screen. So as you can see, now we've got image in position. Let's try adding the product data part. So H1. So here we want the product title. So we can get it from the object. So product data, so it automatically imports it for us. So as you can see, we've got the import statement here. And inside that product data, to access title, we can simply do dot title. So dot title, let's save it. And as you can see, we've got the title over here. Now this application has a custom font. So as you can see, the font family is Source Sans Pro, Sans Serif. Let's copy it. So coming here, let's give it a class name. So remember, we don't use IDs. So classes dot say product title. So coming here, let's add the class. So product title, font family, Source Sans Pro. Now we also need to import this font in our index.html file. So as you can see, I've already got the link here and we're getting the font from Google Fonts. So coming back, now to add these things, you have to add it in index.html file. So coming here, I'll just add it. So coming back to our application, now as you can see, this is using the Source Sans Pro font. All right, let's increase the font size, say 48 pixels. Let's increase the font weight, say 600. It looks a bit like our application. Similarly, we also need a description. So for description, we can use the paragraph tag. Let's give it a class name so that we can add styles to it. Say product description. Again, if you check your product's data object, so description can be accessed directly. So we can simply do dot description. So curly braces because we're working inside JSX. So product data dot description. So coming here, let's add some styles to this. So instead of adding font family to all the elements, we can simply add it to the body. Now, very important thing, pay close attention. So only the class names are localized, not the tags. So if you do body, it will affect all your elements and components. So just keep that in mind. So for example, if you write H1 and you add styles to it, so throughout your application, all the H1 tags will get that specific styles. So remember, only the class names are localized, not the styles added to the HTML tags. Okay, so coming back here, let's give it a font size, say 20 pixels. Let's give it a color, say RGBA 000, a black with 80% opacity. So it looks pretty much like our text here. Great. Also, the title has some margin at the bottom, but none at the top. So let's handle that as well. Say margin top 0, margin bottom, say 16 pixels. All right, that's much better. Let's also do the same for description. Say margin top 0, margin bottom 16 pixels. All right, so moving on. Now we have to add these sections, select color and features. So let's add that as well. Let's say H3, select color. Let's give it a class name. So classes dot say section heading. Let's save it. Let's add another div where we can wrap all those image elements. Let's say image. Let's give it a class name. Say option. Say product image. Let's give it a source URL. Let's give it an alt tag. So let's say red colored watch. Let's save it. And again, as you can see, we got a watch here, but it's pretty huge. So let's add style to this product image. Let's give it a max width of say 80 pixels. Let's give it a border, say 2 pixels, solid and teal. Let's give it a border radius, say 8 pixels. And let's check it. Let's refresh. All right, so it looks pretty much like our options here. So let's quickly add others as well. Let's update the alt tag. So black, red, blue, and purple. So black, red, third one would be blue, and the last will be purple. Let's save it, and let's check it. Let's also give some margin on the right, so there's some spacing. Say margin right, 12 pixels. All right, that's much better. And as you can see, all these elements have border. And We don't want that. We only want the selected one to have the border. So what we can do is create another class, say selected product image, and instead of giving border there, we can give it here. And instead of teal, let's make it transparent. So as you can see, none of them have borders now. So if we add another class here, so let's copy this class and let's add it here. So now you cannot simply do like this. It will give you an error, as you can see here. So another way is, what you can do is put it in an array like this. Now this is an array holding two classes. And to convert it into a string where all the class names are separated by space, you can simply use the join method of arrays. So join, and you can pass an empty space here. So now what this will do is it will convert this array into a string where all the elements are separated by spaces. So as you can see, only this first one has the border. Also, we can add cursor pointer here so that it shows that it's clickable. So cursor, say pointer. All right, let's add some styles to this select color heading. So coming here, let's select that element. Let's get these styles. So the name of the class is section heading. So let's add it here. Say section heading. Let's add these styles. Let's save it and let's check it. Okay, it looks much better. Similarly, let's add the final one. So this features section. So if you notice, this features and select color has the same style, so we can use the same class here. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and use H3 here. And instead of select color, I'm going to change the label to features. So as you can see, we've got the label here. All right, so let's add these as well. So coming here, let's create a division. And let's add those elements in here. So those could be buttons or paragraphs or whatever else you like. I'm just going to go ahead and use buttons here. So button, so the first one is time and second is heart rate. So time and second is heart rate. Let's add some classes here. So class name, let's say classes dot say feature item, and the same we can add here. Let's add some styles. So coming down here, so feature item, say background color. Greensboro, let's give it a border radius, say 8 pixels. Let's remove the default border of the button, so we can simply do border 0. Let's give it some padding, say 12 pixels on 24 pixels. And let's give it a minimum width so that it all looks same. Most of the elements look same, say 80 pixels. Let's save it and let's check it out. So as you can see, we've got the elements here, but they don't look like these ones. So let's get the exact styles. Okay, so we need text align center and a margin right with some cursor pointer. So text align center, margin right, say 12 pixels, and cursor pointer. Let's increase the font weight as well, say 500. Let's check it. Still the font doesn't look anywhere close to what we want. That's better. Also, let's make the box sizing as content box so that it doesn't count the padding as well. So box sizing, say content box. Let's save it. And as you can see, it looks much better. All right, so coming back here. Now the selected one has a bit of different styles. So let's make those changes as well. Say dot selected feature item. So color is white and the background color is gray. Let's use this class. So coming back to app.js. Now again, we cannot simply do comma and something. So what we can do is use an array here. So inside the array, we've got two classes. And to convert it to a string, we can simply do join with spaces. So coming back here. So as you can see, it looks much better. Now let's also add this buy now button. Let's give it a class name, say primary button. Let's copy it and let's give some styles. So color is white. The background color is teal. Font size is, I guess, 20 pixels. Border radius is 8 pixels. And the default border needs to be removed. Let's check it. Also, we need to add some padding. Say 12 pixels and 24 pixels. That looks much better. Let's also add some margin on the top, say 36 pixels. Let's save it. And it looks much better. So we've got the right section covered. So moving on to the preview section. So as you can see here, we've got a time section and a heart rate section. Though the image is not loaded, I'm not sure why. So coming back here. So along with this image, we also need a division where we can have probably a paragraph. So to get current date, we can simply do new date dot get hours, and we can use template strings here. Colon, another expression. So new date dot get minutes. Let's save it. And as you can see, we've got the time here. So to overlay it, we can simply use the position related attributes of CSS. So let's make this product preview as position relative. Let's give this div a class name. So classes dot feature data. Let's make this feature data as position absolute. Top 50%, left 50%. So this will make it start from the center. But to make it truly center, we will have to shift our elements by the width and height 50%. So transform, translate, minus 50% and minus 50%. Let's check it out. So as you can see, I believe text is somewhere here. So let's change the color. So let's say color and white. As you can see, we've got the text here. Let's add some styles to it. Let's say font size 48 pixels, font weight 600, and let's check it. So as you can see, it's looking pretty much like this. Also, if you notice, there's a zero appended here, but in our case, we don't have the zero. So it's a very simple use case. You can simply handle it. So let's create a constant, say current R. We can put a condition here. If current R is greater than 9, then we can use the value, or else we can simply append a 0 to it. Same thing can be done for current minutes or current minute. So new date dot get minutes. If this is greater than 9, then simply use it, or else append a 0 to it. That's it. Now we can simply use those variables here. There's a spelling mistake. Let's copy it and use it here. Same way we can use it over here as well. So instead of R, this would be minute. Let's save it. So as you can see, we've got this 0 appended to it. Simple as that. Similarly, let's also design the other section. So instead of feature data, let's change the class name to, say, time section. Let's update the class here. As you can see, things are still working fine. Let's do the same thing for the heartbeat as well. So let's just copy this, comment it, add another division here. So instead of time section, this would be heartbeat. And instead of showing current time, we would show the heartbeat related data. Let's say 78. Also, we will have to add the heart icon. So for that, we can simply use font awesome. So I've got the script here. I'll just copy it and use it. So again, this would go in index.html file. So coming to index.html, I'll just add the script here. So coming back, now to use this heart, let's search for the icon. So font awesome. Let's search for the heart icon. Let's take this heartbeat icon. So I'm selecting it. Let's copy the tag. So coming back here, let's paste it. So we will also need to add styles to this. So just like we did for time section, let's for now use the same ones for this. Let's save it and coming back to our browser. Let's refresh it. So as you can see, we've got the heart image here, and probably there's some padding or margin on the top because this was a paragraph. So let's add some styles to those things as well. So the paragraph directly inside this division, make the margin top to just 16 pixels. And the I tag inside this division, change the color to red. Let's check it again. So as you can see, it looks much better. Now we can also add that beating effect. So I'm just going to use animation here. So keyframes, let's say beat. At 0% transform, keep the scale to 1. At 50%, scale it to 1.2. And at 100%, scale it back to 1. Now we can simply use the keyframe here. So animation, we can give the name of the keyframe, followed by duration, say 1 second, followed by how many times. So I'm just gonna make it infinite. Let's save it and let's check it. So as you can see, this heart is now beating. So we are done with the UI part, and that's all for this video. In the next video, we will convert all these UI elements into components wherever required, and we will render them dynamically. So we will be using this object to render all this data rather than just hard coding it all. And that's all for today. I hope this gave you a better understanding of how to design the UI in React. But if you have any doubts or queries, feel free to drop a comment below or reach out to me on Twitter. I'll add my Twitter handle in the description below. See you in the next video. Bye and take care.